Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Groove podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with another film review. Today, we are going to take a look at The Rip. This is available on Netflix. This is Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. But
Yeah.
I love it when Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, when they get together and they do a film together, right?
Mhm.
Now, what's really interesting about this film is this was put together by their production company, Artist
Mhm.
Equity, and they created a very interesting revenue sharing deal with
Yes.
Netflix, the first of its kind. You heard about that? Explain that.
Yeah, I heard of it. So they, because most of these movies, you get that one check. So like
That's it.
a grip guy, some guys holding some lights, he gets $2,000, and that's the end of
That
that.
is it.
And so they came up with this revenue sharing thing so that everybody gets a better cut and it's more consistent. And that's why they put this movie on Netflix as a way to test this thing out,
Mhm.
to get Netflix to kind of give some of the money back to the people.
Right.
So for create just to get creatives to want to make stuff on Netflix, and so the people that work there on movies and stuff, they can get a cut too, because it's not really fair for them. The way the movie structure is, if this movie goes to theater, these guys are getting residual checks for the next 20, 30 years, or however long the movie's out. They're
Mhm.
still getting checks from the thing. And Netflix just gives you that one check. You made a movie, the actor gets $2 million, that's the end of that. Whereas, like you think about Titanic, right? That movie wasn't supposed to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
Leo made a fortune off of that movie because he got part of the distribution thing, or not he got royalties.
Yeah. A lot of
So
them.
all of them
He's
got
still making
royalties.
money off of that.
Same thing with the Matrix. Keanu got a bunch of money from the royalties.
Hmm.
Whereas this thing turned into $1 billion franchise, he was getting the cut, he's getting the check.
Hmm.
Where you do a movie on a streaming service, there is no money for you after. You get that one thing, whatever the initial thing is, that's it. No more money for you.
Right.
And because they should get more money. And I agree with this.
I
'Cause
love
if you're
that.
taking over the industry, you should look out for the people. They need the money.
Now, what's really interesting, like, just again, just to talk about that a little bit more, like, so during the
Mhm.
writer's strike, there was like just a lot of complaining, like, oh, you can't use AI, oh, you can't do this, oh, you can't do that. It's like,
Mhm.
well, no, you can't tell the production companies, Hollywood, what they can and cannot do.
Mhm.
So what Ben
Yeah.
Affleck and Matt Damon did, they were like, yo, you know what? Let's do this. And let's see if we can create this equity sharing thing. It's almost like United Artists when that sort of like
Mhm.
company came
Yes.
out. It was
Yeah,
created
yeah.
by artists. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, okay, these artists, they know the whole deal, right? So I love that
Mhm.
model. I love the fact that they said, hey, you know what? This is what we need to make the film, and
Mhm.
you can like put it up against anything you want to on Netflix. Just pay us, right? And we get paid
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
this, that, and the other. And then like not Matt, Ben Affleck, he explained it really well when he did an interview on the
Mhm.
All the Smoke. And
Mhm.
I was like, wow, that was just so fascinating. And it made me like the movie even more just based on this
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
revenue stream, right?
Yeah, if you know the why and stuff like that behind the scenes, you think you appreciate what these guys
Yeah,
did.
you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like,
Yeah.
you can say you can say a whole lot about Matt Damon. I'm sorry about Ben Affleck, right? But Joe, that was a boss move, you know?
I like Ben, man. I know some
Mhm.
people don't like him. I like Ben, man.
Oh, I like,
I see
he's
a
a
bunch of interviews with him. I'm like, I rock with this dude. This
yeah,
dude's cool.
like listen, I like his work. I like Matt Damon. I like
Mhm.
all these cats. So the Rip, dude, what
Mhm.
is the Rip about?
So there's a police officer unit that this guys they follow tips, and
Mhm.
they bust in the drug houses or whatever, and they confiscate the stuff.
Mhm.
They find a money stash.
They
They count the
concentrate on
money.
money. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, they deal with money mostly. So they find tips on stuff. They confiscate it, turn it over to the department. So they have a bunch of corruption going on
Mhm.
in various departments in the police department
What corruption in
at
the
their
police
division.
department? That's not possible.
What? What? First time ever.
Mhm.
So basically, there's a bunch of tension about this thing, and you can't really figure out people's motives
Mhm.
because when the movie starts, you can't tell who's the bad guy, who's
I
the
don't
good
know.
guy, who's
Yeah.
moral. I
Mhm.
have no idea. And so I like that. I like that, you're not certain about who's who and what they're doing, what their motivations are. And I like that it wasn't who you thought it was. That's because I was like, one of these guys is either Ben or Matt. They're gonna be the bad guy. They're gonna
Yeah.
turn each other and they're gonna have fun shooting it out. And it was not the case. And that's the thing that was interesting about this movie was it's not exactly what you think it is.
Mhm.
Because it went a whole other turn.
Well, it's weird because we were talking offline, and I thought it was just like a
Mhm.
regular schmegular, corrupt
Mhm.
cop movie. That's it.
Mhm.
It is, but it isn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's the
Hmm.
vibe you get. Like, you start watching the movie. I hope they make more of this thing. This every so often we have a movie like, oh, there should be more.
We need
There should
to.
be more of the
We
rip.
need more of this, dude. This is a. I
I
mean,
want
like
more of this.
I mean, like because the whole like the plot of this specific rip, and a rip is like
Mhm.
them just going and like taking this like drug money. That's a rip, right?
Yeah,
um
yeah, yeah.
so that specific rip, that was super duper interesting. I also thought that what was
Mhm.
interesting was this neighborhood they went into, and they said
The
they heard the car.
cartel owns a whole neighborhood, man.
Yo,
That's
dude,
wild.
and I've heard that before. I've seen documentaries about that before. It's just like you need all
Mhm.
of that. It's just like, and and the other thing is, like they were saying throughout the whole movie, it's $20
Mhm.
million. Academy like, yo, you know what? You keep the $20 million because I ain't trying to get into anything. We make billions of dollars every month. You know what I'm
Yeah, they're not
saying?
worried about that. Yeah, they're not worried about it.
So
It's
these two
very
these
interesting.
two guys together, Damon and
Ben
Affleck,
and Ben,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it was almost like you see how they sort of gelled together. They grew up together. You see how they gelled together in a Nike movie? That was
Yeah.
ill, you know?
Yeah, they have a good rapport with each other.
Yeah.
And so, like, you could tell when they're acting like when the movie starts, I couldn't figure out who the bad person was
No.
because they have such a good rapport with each other.
Hmm.
You could tell like they ran lines past each other at someone's house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
they're they're part of the whole building process. So like it's fun when they can just have turn the lights on, turn the camera on, just have fun. Like that's what you feel out of this.
Yeah.
And it's just two old friends who have ridiculous amounts of money and a lot of power, just having fun, just doing life, living life. That's what this was. It was great. Because of that, I enjoyed the movie more because of the camaraderie they have and the rapport they have. Like
Dude,
it's fun.
the camaraderie, the rapport, and also just that artist equity thing, just the revenue sharing, just made me
Yeah,
like the
the
film, like
overall thing makes you like
the
it more.
whole nine, dude. You know what I'm saying? And I was just and I
Mhm,
watched the Ben Affleck interview on All the Smoke before I watched the movie because it came out before the movie, and I was like, oh, I'm totally into this. Start to end, I was
mhm.
all into the movie. You know what I'm saying? And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, this is really cool. This is, and the other thing is this, right? I love how they, sort of set it up in the beginning, right? I mean, it
Mhm.
first started out with like, you know, internal affairs doing an investigation. Like, okay, this person,
Yeah.
a cop, a lieutenant, basically got killed, murdered, basically, like, so what is this about? Was this like, just some an inside job? Did a cop do it? Yada,
Yeah.
yada, yada. No
Mhm,
one knew. We thought it was Matt. It wasn't Matt. We thought it
mhm.
was, I didn't know who it was. I mean,
Hey, I had no idea who it was.
to be honest with you, I didn't think it was Matt. I didn't think it was Ben. I didn't think it was any of these people. I just didn't know. And the way they
Mhm.
sort of like built that plot out, built the characters out, just that storyline, I'm just
Yeah.
like, dude, this is what I'm talking about. We were just talking about like that when we reviewed The Tank, I was just like, I love
Mhm,
a film that just goes totally left and it's
mhm.
still
Yeah, yeah.
compelling. You know what I'm saying?
No, because, like, this is a standard cops, robbers, bad guy movie. It's
Hmm.
standard issue fare, but you could tell they were having fun making it.
Yeah.
You could tell that. It's right off the bat, you could tell, like,
Hmm.
they're having fun talking. And you could tell, like, they care about the movie. They wanted this thing to be a huge success, and like I've seen a lot of reviews on X, Twitter, or whatever,
Mhm.
and people really like this movie. Like it's overwhelmingly positive reviews for this thing. It's
Let,
just very fascinating.
let's see what IMDb gave it a 6.9. Really? Really?
Yeah, it's a standard cop movie. Like I can't,
Yeah.
if people didn't like it, like I can't knock you for it. I like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are as actors. I watched pretty much all of their movies before.
Yeah.
I see, especially recently, even back in the day, I've seen every movie these guys have put out.
Hmm.
Like go back school, is it School Ties, whatever, like a bunch of stuff. A ton of movies from way, way, way back in the day before they're famous, up until now, and I like them as people. So
Yep.
that's the thing. Is like I look past them like, oh, this is great. Like
Yeah.
I like Ben as Batman.
Right.
Like Matt Damon's Jason Bourne. Like I like them. I like them
Well,
as actors.
well, you know what? I wasn't in terms of Batman. I was like, okay, but at that time, Ben Affleck was big. I mean, he was in the media. His name
Mhm.
was rolling the whole nine. And
Oh
here's
no.
the other thing about Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah.
Dude, Ben Affleck, he keeps it like rolling. He keeps it popping. There could be some stuff going on in the media about him, this, that, and the other. But you know what? He keeps it gully, dude. He keeps it pushing all the time.
Yeah. He's just working, man. He's just
He's
working.
working, dude.
I'll
So
say this:
what's up?
he's one of the best Batmans they've ever been.
Oh,
By far,
really?
it's not even close. By far, he's one of the best Batmans.
Didn't Christian Bell play
Physically,
Batman?
yeah, yeah. But I'm saying physically, what he
Hmm.
looks like,
Yeah, he's 6'4",
how he fought
6'5".
as Batman,
Hmm.
he's kicking, he's stomping people out as Batman in the movie, and like as Bruce Wayne, he nailed it perfectly. Lots of people who like read comic books look at him as Batman. They're like, chef's kiss. This is
Really?
perfect.
I know we're talking about Batman now, but I wasn't
Mhm.
feeling him in that joint, dude, for real. And I like Ben
Nah, man,
Affleck, you know?
he was perfect Batman. I'm a DC fan, so it's like I know
Mhm.
I got lots of comic books for Batman. Like he nailed it. He did a good job. But like getting back to this movie though,
Yeah.
that's a whole other topic.
So check this out. So okay,
Mhm.
so once they get to the house where they think the money is, right?
Mhm.
And so now that's like, first of all, how and where they had the money hid, dude.
That's crazy, man.
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
They basically, and I'm not gonna say anything weird, but you know what? So they basically, a bunch of people, a
Mhm.
bunch of
Yep.
people ripped the wall out, created a
Yep.
platform inside the wall, put all this money inside of
Mhm.
like, basically Home Depot pink pels and whatnot with tops, and then
Yep.
put the drywall back up. And then had an
Yep.
ingenious way of like, you still had to, in order to
You gotta take the
get the,
wall down,
you
man.
still have to take the wall down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that was like pretty cool. But like all the stuff
Mhm.
that happened in the house where the money was, and when they got the phone call, I really thought like, yo, the cartel was coming.
Yeah. Hey, the cartel's like, we want no parts of this.
Right. But because they were like, yo, you know what? Take your
Mhm.
150,000 and like, just take your 150,000 and like leave in 30 minutes. And then they were like,
Well,
you
that's
got
the
to,
thing. That wasn't the cartel that called.
that wasn't the cartel, right? And so, and see, that's what I'm saying. That would have made it so typical. The
Mhm.
way the film was
Mhm.
progressing, the writing was really good, but the way the
Mhm.
film was progressing, it did feel like a corrupt cop movie, the way it was progressing.
Yes.
But I think an
Yes.
hour in, then we started to like, oh, wait a minute, this is
Yeah.
something
I was
totally
like, who's on
different.
whose side? Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
And so,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, wow. So you got this money, over 20 million, right? And and then you have
That's rough.
the person, it wasn't a corrupt cop. Well, it was a
Mhm.
corrupt cop, but it wasn't a
It was
corrupt
corrupt
cop.
DA, corrupt
Yeah,
DA.
but it was also a corrupt cop on his team too.
Yeah.
So Roe was he was corrupt. He was actually the one
Yeah,
feeding the information to the
I thought he was
DEA,
just a
right?
regular snitch. No, no, there was those two guys are working together,
Yeah, right. And
which
then
is fascinating because I didn't expect him.
yeah, neither that. And here's the other goofy thing, right? Right. Okay, so
Yeah.
once it all fell apart, these
Mhm.
guys are like, yo, okay, boom, boom, boom. There's a shootout. Then they're trying to get away with the money, right? It's just like, where are you going? Where's Roe going
Yeah.
with a bag of money? And the thing about it is, dude, this was like this was not even this was an entire setup from the beginning. They were like, let's find out if there are any corrupt people on our unit.
Mhm.
Because the bags were filled with, remember, inside the garage, they had a bunch of phone books,
Phone
right?
books, yeah,
And speaking of phone
yeah.
books, we still get a phone book every year mailed to us, dude.
That's crazy,
It's
man.
this
That's
thin.
crazy.
It's not like back in the day like this
Yeah,
here,
it used to
you
be the
know, but we
Encyclopedia
still get a
Britannica.
phone book that is mailed to us every year about that thick, right?
That's
So
crazy.
they knew, like, they
Mhm.
knew what was going on. They're like, you know what, we think is this person here, right? But again,
Mhm.
once everything falls apart, like you grab a bag, Ro grabs a bag, and he's like running. It's just like, where are you going? How are you gonna get out the country? Like, what are you doing? Like,
This is
you're
the
like,
thing, like,
ain't
I
you
don't know
can't
I don't think he had a plan. He's like, "I gotta get out of
you
here,"
can't
like
go out the country. You're gonna be on Interpol. It's just like, what are you doing here, right? And
Yeah, you're not going far.
then like the whole thing about like cops killing cops, I think that's like, I mean, really? You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? These are your
Yeah.
brothers, like they may be in the trenches with you, yada yada. It's almost like army, it's just like these are
Mhm.
your brothers, you guys gotta like look after each other's back. But but I love how they were like, yo, you know what? It wasn't really, it wasn't really like about this money. It
Mhm.
was real, well, it was about the money. But then, well, wait a minute. See, that's what I'm saying, right?
Right.
Because when a girl before she
Yeah.
died, she texted old boy and she was like, "Yo, it's like we got a rip at this like place and whatnot, right?" And
Mhm.
so I'm trying to figure out like how did they sort of figure out that because there was money there, right?
Yeah.
But then how did they figure out that you know
Well, they didn't know how much. I don't think anybody knew how much. They just knew something was there.
Well, no. What I'm saying is like, okay, so they knew the money was there, but how did they go about
Mhm.
like, okay, now let's like do this other thing because we may have like a snitch in our like ranks. And
Well,
here's the other
I
thing.
think
Let me ask you
go
this
ahead.
here too, right?
Yeah.
Remember the flashing light from the house? Who
Mhm.
did that? Where did that come from? Like who
That
was
was the
there?
dude. Remember the dude
The
that,
cartel
that
guy?
came out yeah, came out with Ben Affleck? It was that guy.
Okay.
He's the one that did that.
Okay. Wow.
But,
So
like
that's
yeah, so, like, there it was like it was a good vibe. It was a fun vibe.
yeah.
That's the best way to say it. The movie was fun. They had the dialogue was okay. The action was decent. Not enough. There wasn't a lot of explosions and stuff like that. There's like a mini car chase. It wasn't that big a deal, but like
hmm
it was a fun time to be had,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm like I would like to see more. Like you put more into this next movie, more money, more actors, like bigger actors, whatever. You can just make a whole thing out of this,
Yeah.
especially because of the equity deal where everyone's getting paid properly. Like that would be a cool thing to bring people in, like smaller actors or new up and coming people bringing into this franchise, make it a thing. I like this thing a lot. I want to see more. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I was like, we were talking offline, and I'm just like, I hope this becomes like a franchise. Like, give us some sequels. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you could actually do this, and even though they're based in like Florida, Miami, it's just like, I
Yeah,
mean, that's where the drugs come in. If you wanna do all these rips and
everywhere they
whatnot.
come in.
But the other thing is like now you had a 20 million rip. The next movie, what is that going to be? Like a 50 million rip or like a 100 million rip? What?
I don't know. Here's the thing.
You
There's a
know,
bunch of ways to spin it
right?
because you did the corrupt cop, you did the money. There has to be a different way to spin this thing, or like maybe payback. I don't know, something. There could be a way to spin this thing, but like I would like to see them try to do more
This was a good
of the
movie,
two of
man.
them get together. Saying the two of them getting together,
Mhm.
new cast. I listen. The cast was fine. I liked everybody.
Oh, the cast was like really dope. I mean, like, listen, man, there, there's not a lot of films.
Mhm.
We were just talking about this. It's just like, you know what? I mean, there are some films that always have to be in the theater, and then there are some of these like art house boutique sort of films that are
I
great
this could have
on.
been this could have been a theater.
You
This could
think
easily
so?
been in theater. Yeah, absolutely.
Really? Okay.
Ben Affleck and Matt Damon in the movie? Come on, man. It's an action cop buddy movie? Yes. You could have put this in the theater.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. You could have put that in the theater, yeah, because those guys are big names and whatnot. But the film, I just think that the film itself, the
Mhm.
plot of it, like corrupt cops, it's just like,
It's standard issue. It was
yeah,
fine.
standard issue, man. So, dude,
Mhm.
we are talking about The Rip. This is available on Netflix. Keo, what are you gonna rate The Rip?
I give it an 8.5, man. I thought it was fun. It's the thing. It's cookie cutter. It's
Mhm.
straight down the line of whatever you think a action cop movie is.
Mhm.
There is not a lot of humor. There's a couple jokes in there, but like generally it's just straightforward. It's an action movie. Everybody's too into serious. Everybody's doing a good job. There's nobody in the movie that I'm like, "Ah, come on, man." Like, everybody gave it their all. They read the script good. You had, it was a Scott Atkins, the action dude.
Mhm.
He's in there. I wish he would've done some kung fu on somebody, but it was fine that he's just there to fight Ben as his brother, but, like, it was fine. Like, there's nothing I looked at this I'm complaining about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm crying the crying kid, or there's a whole plot hole over here or whatever, like, it was fine. I enjoyed it. I watched this thing at 3 o'clock in the morning last night when it came out,
Mhm.
and I made some popcorn. I sat down. I had a beer. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
Yeah, I'm actually going to give it a 9 because I just thought it was like it just took me for a turn. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
in the way they once they got the Rip, the way they set up everything to try to like bore out like the corruption, I thought that was
Mhm.
just fascinating.
Yeah, that was
And
great.
that
That
was
part was
great,
great.
wasn't
Yeah.
it? It was just like, okay, it was just like they
Mhm.
just set everyone up. You know what I'm saying? They set
Yeah.
everyone up. The way he got the burner phone, the whole nine. I'm like, we need more of this for real. This should not be. You think this is a one off or what? Does it feel like a one
It's
off?
it's probably a one off because they're 2 big stars. Like, they have
Yeah,
stuff to do.
yeah.
So I don't know how often they can get together to go film something for Netflix, but
Hmm.
I would like to see more. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I like this a lot too. Keo gave it an 8.5. I gave it a 9. This is The Rip. It's available on Netflix. Go check it out. Well, there you have it. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.
All right.